Today's feature is Night of the Hunted, or as I like to refer to it, Let Me Mansplain You to Death. Night of the Hunted was released October 20th, so it's a recent release on Shudder, but don't feel like you're in any hurry to go out and watch it. Night of the Hunted stars Camille Rowe. Basically, it's her film. She's who we focus on the most, and it was directed by Frank Calhoun. The film begins with Camille Rowe's character in a hotel. It's like 2 a.m. She's brushing her teeth, and she's getting all kinds of phone calls and texts from her husband. Why is he awake? Because she is about to leave for some fertility treatment, and he's super excited. And he's super excited about what this child's going to mean for their relationship. As she's talking or texting him, a man walks in behind her to hop in the shower. And the husband even says, "Oh, is John going to be able to drop you off or drive you or something?" She's like, sure. Well, John is her colleague, and she's having an affair with him. So they have to set up this dynamic that she's really flawed. She's flawed. And the idea that the husband's so excited about having a child with her while she's cheating makes her even more flawed. So she and John are driving. Their gas is low, even though he had just filled it. So this is confusing, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. They pull into a gas station. He's filling the tank with gas. She goes inside. Nobody's around. She's trying to get coffee and a snack. And then she gets shot by a sniper. And I apologize for any noises you just heard. That was my cat rustling through some paper, because now would be the perfect time to do that when I'm explaining that Camille got shot. She's shot by someone she cannot see, by a sniper. But her boyfriend can't hear this because he is in the car listening to rap music. Now, the audience really is forced to recognize that John is African American, and I'm not sure why, but for some reason the writer and director felt like it was really, really important to have her, that it wasn't just enough that she's having an affair, that she's having an affair with someone of a different ethnicity from her. And again, I have no idea why this was so important, but they really stereotyped John big time. But he does come in to check on her, and he gets shot. And I'm not going to give away too much more than that. But basically, the rest of the film is a cat and mouse between the woman and the sniper, because there is a walkie-talkie inside the gas station. And at first, she thinks she's reached help on the walkie-talkie. Everything else has been, the phone lines were cut, that button that you push, the emergency button, the wires were cut on that. So any other means of receiving help have been dislocated for her. So she sees this walkie-talkie. She thinks she's talking to someone who can help her. Ends up that it's a sniper. And this is where we get into the sniper. Basically, you don't need to watch the film. Just go on Twitter, or X, as it's now called, and just look at what some right-wing terrorist incels would say. Read their tweets or X's. And basically, that's the dialogue of the film. He's really, and we don't really know why he's doing this. It does, he accuses her of having the affair. So, does he know her personally? He knows she was at a recent convention and that she is a pharmaceutical publicist. And he talks about how he lost his job and lost his insurance and his daughter died. But we don't know if any of that's true. But somehow he knows these things about her. And it really, the crux of the movie is just the conversation going back and forth between the two of them. But again, it's not really, I wouldn't say it's a conversation. It's really him lecturing to her about the perils of current day America. The funny thing is, supposedly this movie was a remake of the 2015 Spanish film, The Night of the Rat. So I'm not quite sure if they had the same sort of political bent that this film does, but this film is super heavy into politics. It's on a soapbox for most of it. It's very, very heavy-handed. It would have been a better film had it been shorter. and focused more on the action and her trying to survive, because that's where things get interesting, when she's trying to do different things to get away from him and to save herself. Now, she's not a heroic character at all, but she does have a little bit of redemption arc in the film. Basically, I spent the majority of the film thinking about what I would eat if I were trapped inside of a gas station. For today's sidebar, I'm going to explain a recent research study conducted by researcher Ruth Collins and myself in the spring of 2022. We assessed and compared several gas stations to see who had the best offerings. We looked at things like racetrack, there's Circle K, but basically we found that the superior gas station in terms of offerings is Wawa. I know some of you are saying, well, I only have Sheets, I only have Cumbie Farms, and my suggestion to you, move. Don't live in an area that only has second rate gas stations. Move to an area that has Wawa.